thing is, I just sent on the WhatsApp group that what is going on? Yeah, okay, there we go. Transcripts. Just start there. Okay, it's in the WhatsApp group that the schedule, right? So every group is going to be live. The thing is that I need you to choose. So I need you to choose one of those 4 shows, because the shows is going to happen during class, okay, class time. But while those are happening, I'm going to, over the next month, I'll release it then, obviously before you go on air. Do you understand? Like, I'll release that so that there'll be snoop sessions for the remaining groups. Do you understand? During those lessons that'll be held in in our class, our designated classrooms, right? So again, just in terms of, just so that I can just record it for record, just in terms of our class, we're gonna have to have groups of 4. Can someone just I'm just give me a second, Teddy. I just want to see, is someone that's trying to, what was it's, is it Tina that wants the link? Just give me a second so I can just resend this. Okay, Tom, and also just let me just do this quickly. If you already know. Oh yeah, okay, so let me just send the Teams link again. Just give me a second. HPL, okay, right, let me just send it again. All right, there it is. All right, so then, yeah, how did you feel with your last group? I'm saying to you, do you want to reorganize in terms of going forward? You worked with them in the F1. Like, how do you feel about them? Are you going to still stay with them? Or are you going to reorganize?
No, sir, I'm not sure, but then I think I can hear me.
You'll see. Is that it? Okay. All right. Look, again, I'm just going to make that then, like I say, formal. I will say formal on the group, and so those groups have to be decided on by literally by the end of the week at least. At the very most, should I say? Okay. All right. I wanna begin. I know that I can see there's going to be another student joining in. So I taught last week Thursday. I did news, okay, but I did news writing for radio. What can you remember from last year? Tell me, can you remember about writing for like news bulletins for radio? Go ahead. Yeah, Teddy, go ahead. Tell me.
So I
What
think
did you?
in sir,
Yes, I can hear you.
can you hear me?
Yes.
A headline, I think tagline and a lead, and then you read the news.
Okay. Do you remember how to construct the
Can you hear me?
news? Yes, I can. Yeah. Do you remember how to construct the news?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay,
I
good.
think I
Okay, I'm going to not revise it further because, again, I went through it last week and it was done last year. But the thing is that today, after I give you the lesson in news, we're going to stop, right? You're going to take, what you're going to do is you're going to take about, I would say 30 minutes, okay, to find one international and one local, okay, top story. It might take you a bit longer, I actually believe. I think it's going to take you about 40 minutes, right? Okay. You're going to write those stories. You're going to, and then you're going to give me the financial indicators. You're going to give me the weather, and you're going to give me the traffic report, just one traffic incident. Okay. So that you can once again just obviously I want to know that you are doing it right and correctly. Lead writing, as you know, starts from the most important to the least important, right? But still, all five sentences. It should be about 5 sentences for 30 seconds, right? 30 to 35 seconds, not 5 lines. Okay, 5 sentences. Just a quick recap is that each sentence needs to kind of state one fact. So you mustn't do conjunctives. I think that's what conjunctions, all right? We're using and you know, there's certain words that make it 2 sentences in one. You understand? Don't use that because you're working with a passive audience and a passive ear. So the thing is, you have to state facts that the listener can process while they're doing other things. You understand? So yes, you might find listeners will turn up the radio as we do, even though we can hear just clearly, right? Okay. So I just want to see where there's another person. Okay. Sorry again, just for these interruptions. We're in the room. You can join. There's so Teddy's here, and I'm here. Yeah, okay, let's just on that. Let me just see what's going on. One more check just to see. Okay, yeah, let's change this status. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Again, sorry for just the disruption, man. I've got a new PC now. As I've said to you, the PC was just died. So I just decided to get a new PC. Everything's reloaded and fresh and new. So, okay. Anyway, okay. So I just want to make sure that everything's fine. All right, that's fine. Okay. Just wait for it to join, and I'll just click on that button. Right. All right. Anyway, as I said, the financial indicators again, the weather, and then the traffic update. Right. So and then we will work on delivery when I see you. Do you understand? Because the thing is that the homework for this is to do a full news bulletin, like I will show you that I've sent you already. You understand? I've sent you an example of a radio, like a show prep, right, for 2 hours. It was a while ago, but you'll find it in the document section, your group media section of the WhatsApp group, right? So you can follow along as well, and also look there if there's any need, okay, to make sure that you're on the right track and stuff, right? Okay, so if the only
Definitely.
yeah, hello, yeah.
So what are the financial indicators?
Financial indicators is your gold per fine ounce, your barrel of Brent crude oil, your dollar to the rand, your pound sterling to the rand, and your euro to the rand. I'm slipping mine already around. So obviously you can go to the yen and all that type of stuff that some other people do. And it is, I mean, you know, when you look at your commodities and you look at your currencies and stuff like that, you will go find it on News 24. Do you understand? Right. Yeah, you understand. So, yeah, that's why I find it. Sorry, meeting starts. Um, just yeah. Can can you just give me? Can you, Teddy? Which link did you use? The one we always use, right? Because it's saying like Trina is saying, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
One.
use the one that we always use, right?
Yes, sir.
You're joined as an attendee. When the meeting starts, it started already. Um, yeah, again, yeah, so I don't know what to say. Um, uh, and it's the same one. Yeah, what am I? I'm not questioning it. It's the same link. If I just let me just quickly click on it so I can just
Okay,
make sure that it takes me to as well from my phone. And can connect you to the meeting. Like, kidding me? Just do this again. Uh, just have a little, just have a bit of patience. Sorry, I know you're having patience. Just see what it goes. Connecting to the meeting. You're joined as an attendee. Let's join it to another one. And there is, as an attendee. Yeah, Dina's in another room for some reason. Okay. Will you do me a favor and just because I see of course is there as well. I don't know what the difference is. Or can we just exit the room and just start again? I'm sorry for this. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay. So can
Uh,
I send them the link?
yeah,
Can I send
just
them the link?
yes. Can you
Okay.
send them the link? Can you send them the link now? Okay. Thanks. Okay. I'm just gonna announce now. Ladies, like Teddy is going to send you the link. Why there is two rooms, I have no idea. Always using the same thing. So you can just join on the link she's going to send you now. Okay. I'm just gonna exit the this meeting here. All right. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate the assist. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, those are the financial indicators. And again, I will show you the example of as it obviously is as it I've sent it to you, but we'll go through it anyway, and then you'll have the time to just obviously come up, like I say now, so I can check your most important to least important, and obviously the way that you write, and we have to write in the present. Okay. Are you okay? Can we start the lecture? Are you fine?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Okay. All right. So let's just so this is going to be the theoretics around different obviously like different aspects of the news. And so how obviously we want to be able to approach that, I mean, there's news all over the world. I don't have to really state and overstate that. And the thing is that how do we decide on news that is relevant to our listener? We've got to see the impact and importance to, once again, like their lifestyle and what it is that they actually need to know. Not that what they want to know, but what they actually need to know. So it's a little different to maybe creating content and putting a show together and deciding what content is there. But what they need to know is more important, because like if an everyday listener, an everyday South African citizen does not read the news, for example, they will come across it, they will see it on social media, they might decide to like start their day with it. A lot of people still read the news from newspapers, but more habitually on a Sunday, because it's that Sunday feel. So we still haven't lost the actual, like physical print media, right? I think there are. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much for sharing that. Right. So as I said, yeah. So we haven't lost that. I'm not saying that it's irrelevant, because again, we sell a lot of papers here in this country, and again, there's still a lot of obviously news that is dependent on that goes out, like I say, from hard print media. To the consumer as well, but we all know that all those newspapers also exist online as well, and then we have a number, like just a whole bunch more of news sources that do exist that have been created specifically online, and then we have a bunch of obviously mirror online resources that will mirror, let's say, a TV station, like I say, a media station, so our CNNs and our BBCs and so on and so forth, and our SABCs, etc. Right? So that do not have, let's say, like a physical, like I'm saying to you, like just it's only controlled, or it's limited to just print itself. Okay. All right. So again, despite the rise of the internet and user-generated content, traditional media will continue to serve. So the thing is, radio, TV, and print. We always say those are the ones that will stay forever. Okay. So as we move again, like I say, print is considered digital print too. That's what we can call, but we don't say that it is digit within the. I'm saying the only the digital space. We have digital as a medium. We have digital print and print, which goes together. And then we have obviously TV and radio. These are dependable sources of information. Like, you will not go across any radio station that will allow bulletin to exist. Do you understand? that is not factual. Okay, one, you can obviously be, I mean, you're taken to the BCCSA. Should you provide information that is not that is fake, that is not being obviously researched and is not true. Just on that note, I mean, you are allowed to. I mean, if it's on these news sources, you understand, and it's been piloted by what is more tabloid news. It doesn't matter. It still counts as actual news. Whether the tabloid went and exaggerated or not, we depend. I'm saying we will use them as the ones that are accountable, and then move on with the story should we want to actually use it within any of our bulletins, right? But the thing is that our approach is still then saying that this is based on factual information from, let's say, this tabloid, let's say a residential community, whatever it is, newspaper or news source, whatever it may be, right? Okay, although TV is by far the most important for local, national, and world news, newspapers and radio are still highly valued as news sources, right? It's only because we don't TV only dominates there because they have a number of fully dedicated 24-hour channels. You understand? To news, and so the thing is, we can go and watch that on DSTV. Do you understand? And it'll be news all day, every day, 7 days a week. You understand? And they will obviously have a lot of repetitive segments that fill out the day. It's not fresh news throughout the day, but updated news. And they've got massive newsrooms. I get that. And I'm saying to you, there'll be international correspondence, whether it is, let's say, I'm saying a national, let's say, national station. So let's say our ENCAs, for example. It doesn't matter. But it is a more dominated. I'm saying to you, and we tend to go and find um, a lot more news coverage on television than we do on the other platforms because we are a bit more scattered, right? I'm saying in radio we divide our attention. The production of mixed local, national, international bulletins every hour is time consuming and labor intensive, and therefore an expensive proposition for every radio station service to consider, right? So the thing is, again, irregardless of it being expensive, the only reason that it is expensive is that we have a ton of journalists. We need a ton of journalists, especially at a commercial level, where it's not that the news is more important, you understand, but the news is more official because of the fact that they have to go and they have to go and create the stories. In other words, they have to find stories. A lot of the community stations either they pay for subscription services. I'm saying to you that that there'll be a news generator, right? That is that they buy the news from, that is sent to them, or they will go and look at, let's say, like, for example, like you will do, right? You will not generate your own news, just because, like, we're not set up for that environment. I think it's going to be a little bit too much pressure. It would be great if you did, but the thing is that it would take a lot of time out of your day. So if you look at news journalists, I mean, they're sent out on, I'm not going to call them missions, you understand, but they are, like, they'll be sent out to follow sort of stories. The newsreader, or the news journalist, should I say, will go and they will stay in that area, should it be quite far away, and they will follow the ongoing story, right? The long running story, throughout however many bulletins it is necessary for. Do you understand? They might drive there, they might drive back, they might commute, I mean, quite far. So let's say as far as, I think, as Rustenburg, I'm saying within the Joburg area to without, so the Rustenburg area, maybe out to Vereniging even, depends on what type of story. So when we obviously have when we had the stories around the mines and the scandals around the mines, and there's even, when I say scandals, there was obviously criminality and there was killings or whatever it is, but, like, we would rather have somebody there, understand. We want to use the sound bites that are, I'm saying, that come from our journalists ourselves, but also come from, let's say, people that they interview, as opposed to, let's say, going to go find it on YouTube and download it there or whatever it may be, right? Okay, so anyway, the introduction of digital systems capable of capturing the audio cuts and importing them directly into studio playout systems. So what happens just in terms of the semantics of the actual studio itself. Like we no longer, you'll find still in community stations that the DJ will control, let's say, the play out of, for example, clips and sound bites or whatever it may be, and will control also like the channel and the mics for the news presenter. But those are smaller community stations that actually haven't been able to. Well, it's expensive to afford that kind of equipment as well. But in every commercial station, every PBS station, you're going to find that they'll even have their own room in which they go into, and they will report the bulletin. I'm saying to live with their own desk, their own PC, their own software, and the software is, I mean, it's amalgamation of, let's say, obviously the bulletins themselves that are written, the database of contacts, the database of sound bites, the database of whatever it may be, everything that is related that falls under. So that also it lives online as well. We have the online journalists as well also have their own again assigned directives that are to add even more, I'm saying, more dimension to the amount of news that comes through from a station as well. Okay, I don't want to carry on too much again because we can carry on, and I can carry on. Okay, smaller stations, like I said, they oh, well, there we go. Nice. They opt in to the live national bulletin exactly on the hour. Going into, I'm saying we're going into local, the community stations, right? All right, just hear someone coming in. Just allow. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. So a few radio services can survive without providing some form of news. All right. So again, if you listen to a radio station and it doesn't have news, even though you have it at the obviously the tip of your fingertips all day, every day, like yesterday, even, you understand, it doesn't matter. Like we want to be able to hear the real time aspect of someone that is an expert, quote unquote, professional, someone that's got some kind of understanding of what is relevant to us. Again, rather than sitting through and scrolling through Times Live or scrolling through News 24 and seeing a lot of news that is a bit too much. Do you understand? And a lot of it is just, it's not that it's junk. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's irrelevant to the bigger scheme of things. It's just an update, and like I say, it's a story on something that's happening, but it's not of, I'm saying, national slash local importance. It's more about the person that's interested to read about it, and obviously the way that they consume it, within obviously that platform, right? Okay, if one service. So I'm going to move to the next one there. If one service provides an attractive range of music and another supplies news every hour, the listener can become their own program controller, which again is why, for example, let's say, I mean, you're going to go, okay, well, SAFM or 702. Yes, there are talk stations, and you'll have a lot. They are more dependable in terms of expecting a larger, broader coverage of news, even within their I'm saying their talk topics, which is consistent for them, obviously, right? But this is, I mean, again, this is drastic. There's not. There are many community stations that actually do without sports completely, which is very strange to me. But it's I'm speaking about even more than half of my clients do not actually cover sports at all. They just cover news, and there's no actual fun. I'm saying validated reason as to why you shouldn't cover sports, even if you only have a news reader. The news reader needs to then cover both. They don't have to just cover news and then leave sports out. Sports is very big. I'm saying internationally, we know why. It's not just a recreational thing anymore, but it's a relevance thing in people's lifestyles, and it's a normality, right? So you will also have to, please, as you know, you will have to write sports bulletins as well, as I've said in class, right? The tradition of comprehensive bulletins at the top of each hour was developed by the BBC, right? So we have a long, I mean, the BBC again. one I've said this to you before. Like it controls, I think it's close to 96%. I've said that before, 96 or 98% of all the media that the UK actually wants, right? So it's not out of force or out of some kind of like a militant, I don't know, a communist approach, kind of like you'll find in China or whatever it is. But this is a choice. The British people want they want everything to be controlled by the BBC. So everything that you find that if you go into a framework and see how much the BBC owns, I'm saying to you in terms of media outlets, it's not just BBC News, you understand? The BBC obviously radio stations, there are outlets underneath there that go to digital, that go to like hybrid. There's hybrid components of I say video and digital and video, well, audio and digital, whatever it may be. And there's a lot of different outlets. It's really great, and why we have to we praise the BBC because it does. It's been covering I'm saying the formal news structure, right, for longer than anyone else in this world. When I say formal, it's been formalized by them, and the frameworks are actually led innovations within how news is and how it is broadcast, right? How it's structured and how it's broadcast is led by them. So, whilst the regular hourly bulletin may help in building listening hours, right, with the listener being aware of if they stay around in each, they will find at some point you're going to hear the news. Like in terms of you being a listener to radio, and you will tend to want to listen for longer than half an hour just because of your daily habits, right? Um, or the way that you do listen will cross over most of the time at the top or the bottom of the hour. But more likely because we've seen obviously how long people listen to here from the Rams, and I've said to you that goes up to 5.5 hours on average, right? That you will run into a news update just as a consumer in general. Okay, so again, if there's breaking news, spontaneous news updates means, okay, spontaneous news updates, you will not exercise this. I'm saying to you in your broadcast because it's unnecessary. You will not update your news. I don't need to pressurize you even more. Do you understand? To go and write another bulletin that has already taken you 2 hours and refresh that content. Do you understand? I'd love to do that, but again, it's not. You're not at that level yet. You can't. You have to genuinely just get what this needs to be right, okay, and get it fully correct, okay. All right, so let's look at managing news. Experience suggests that while news is an important reason for listening, it in fact is a very high and very, very, very important reason, because we've seen again just the research from the BRC that people do tune in for news aspects. So news, weather, traffic, and sports, etc., or all, and finance as well. So finance just on its own, not just the financial indicators. We're talking about I'm saying segmentation of news, right? It becomes less important as the day goes on. Do you understand? Why is the reason? Why do people prefer to be updated on news in the morning? Because again, it lends to our thinking, I'm saying, and our mindset of preparation for the day. So when I say that, don't take it literally in the sense that, oh, just because I listen to the news and I read the news in the morning, or I watch the news in the morning, like now I'm going to have a more productive day. It's not about that. Like people consume productivity, I'm saying to you, and the readiness of productivity in many different ways. Some people go work out. Some people watch, read, whatever it is, the news. Some people scroll social media. Some people rather would like to listen to podcasts or whatever it is, or audiobooks, to feel as though they've got some other, like I'm saying, like angle, I'm saying, and obviously addition to being a little bit more ready for the day as it is. Yes, also we would like to know what is happening. So that's why traffic, it rates so highly amongst why it is people still listen to radio, right? We do, so in that respect, we have, succinct and consecutive news updates. I'm saying traffic updates like 4 times an hour within the breakfast and the drive show. And it's not that it is not existent on other shows. It'll be existent on the lunch and brunch show, but just not as frequently as in the drive time shows. So again, we will all use a GPS. Just saying, if you are a commuter, you will know this because you need to the second saying updates in terms of like your Google Maps will show you that there's been a collision and now that it will reroute you, right? But still, regardless, you're not going to switch off the radio when you hear a traffic update. In fact, if it's they will have more information about the gridlock and the delay and the alternative routes that you can take, more so than Google Maps does. So we do trust both, I'm saying, sources, but we don't switch the radio off, and that's the important thing about the news just in general. It doesn't turn people off. It's never a reason as to why people switch off the station. Again, the presenters are the biggest reason, and the music and the content, right? And the number of ads or whatever it may be. But again, mostly it's the DJs that are the reasoning why people switch off the radio itself to another station, right? So in larger stations, the functions of the reporter, the editor, and news presenter are separate roles. We have again like a whole bunch of newer roles, right? That extend beyond because of the digital space, and so we have to have a larger news. I'm saying newsroom. With a lot more, like I say, technical aspects. So we have producers and we have digital producers and we have whatever it may be, right? That will be added to this again, and field reporters, so on and so forth, as I've said, right? So they've introduced news hubs, as we know. So EWN, SABC News, ENCA, like these are, I'm saying to you, so these are just generic ones. I'm saying to you that so EWN specifically for radio, and digital, but again lives online as well. It just doesn't live on TV. The other two do. So ENCA and obviously SABC News lives on TV as well, but does supply the news. And ENCA does not have a radio station it supplies to, whereas the SABC News will supply to all the stations, right? Generally the same news every hour, okay, or every like I say, every update, so every hour and a half hour. And if there are any breaking news or is breaking news, they'll supply it so that there's consistency. But like as we move further along towards the PBS stations, right, the news needs to be segmentized, okay, for obviously one location, right, to obviously cultural segmentation, right, and what is important to that cultural sect. And so but I'm saying the newsroom will take care of that. So unexpected news. So when something, so I'm just gonna jump on over. Okay, so it's just you in the room, Tina. So tell me, any questions so far before I continue?
No, not yet.
Are you familiar with all of this? I'm just saying you should be, because one, you BBJ, but also it should have been covered in the past 2 years. I'm saying to you the approach and the structures and stuff.
Oh, yes.
Good. Okay. All right. So, okay, we're nearly done with it. But the thing is, again, what I want from you is going to take a while, and I'd like you to also take a while to do it. All right. So, in other words, do it properly. Okay. Let me finish up there. The unexpected news is about. Okay, it's those big major breaking news stories, right? So so we use Mandela's death specifically, right? Specifically as an example that we constantly use, because it was one, obviously, of local, national, and international importance, and it was long running. I'm saying even internationally as well. I know that sounds like even as though like we achieved something. No, because Mandela was so I'm saying influential to the world, and obviously I'm saying to what he represented for obviously the obviously the breakdown of apartheid by the ANC, but obviously the largest extent of black representation within this country, right? Like he was the calling card. Do you understand? I don't have to say more about why he was important, right? But the thing is that his death was something that was constantly it was a coming. Do you understand? So there were a lot of scares, and there were a lot of scares where everybody, and I think I've said this before in class, the newsroom gets ready for things like this when they can see it coming, right? So there'll be a particular there's a preparation file. Do you understand? The preparation file will also have a specific quote unquote CD, right? All right. That has certain pre-recorded segments, right, that are updated continuously about commemorations to his death and whatever it may be. There's a certain like agenda that you have to follow. So, for example, let's say the news editor will come on first to make the statement. Like it doesn't matter what show, every DJ must be ready for it. Again, there's the production package, and then there is the rollout plan for what's going to happen for however many weeks. 10 to 1, a long running story like this lasted about 3 weeks by plan, and could be there could be reflective, I'm saying, news, so bounce off bounce off effect news that might have happened here and there, but no longer than that, right? Again, within this country, it was obviously because he was our president, and again, the I would say the leader of the new South Africa. It was a lot. It was a lot more important for us to take it a lot more quote unquote seriously. In other words, cover it to its extent, right? It's bound extension, right? But that's what we do. But now, what about other news that say we don't know is coming? I'm saying to you, like, for example, if there's a like that's a natural disaster. Do you understand? We don't know that that's going to happen, but it kills like hundreds of thousands of people. We got to get on it immediately. As a journalist, I would like you to I'd like you to tell me how does any news, I'm saying any like a radio station or a TV station or whatever it is, how do they approach breaking news, unexpected breaking news? Like, what can you tell me are some of the, like I say, some of the, procedures? What can you tell me about any of the formatics of it? What is the safest approach to breaking news? Yeah, you can answer, you know. Can you hear me? Hello? So I don't. You must just say something so I can hear. I'm gonna. At some point, just say something so I know that you are there. Okay. So I'm just gonna pause it for a second because I'm just gonna pause on the feedback for a second. I've got a feeling that you might not be in front of the PC. But then I'm gonna continue with just answering my own question, right? So the thing is, again, like when we do have breaking news of any types, for example, again, someone that's passed away, we know that again, just with Ricky, with Ricky Rick, and with man, completely forgot his name now. You know what I'm talking to, man, come on now, AKA man. Anyway, like for example, there was and even back to double HP. I want to just take musicians in particular. We don't know enough, so you'll see that in terms of like but we need news to be released, because the thing is, if you are on, like, or if you are a bit slow then, and everyone else finds the news and people are sharing it on social media, like you're not part of that movement, I'm saying to you, of that news breaking, then 10 to 1 the people will stick to the news the news source they originally anyway found the news on to be the long running story. So what they will say, and what you do find on TV, especially like when there is like I say, natural disaster, or there's a shooting, or there is like a breakout of whatever war, whatever, you will find that the ground journalist will only give you a very small amount of information, and it will grow as time passes. And you'll see that the presenter, I'm saying to you, let's say it is on TV and at the station, they will consistently ask the same question in different ways. They will also consistently update, I'm saying to you, the current situation for anyone that's just tuned in, by saying, if you've just tuned in, like this and this has happened, whatever it may have been, we've got whoever it is on the floor, we've got some extra footage here, some new footage, see this, whatever it is, and the story, so that the thing is that you do not go and risk the possibility of adding anything that is false or sensationalized at any one point, right? So program features. Many of the staple features of traditional radio services require input from outside suppliers. For example, to get like a weather report, definitely on a talk station, we should get not a weather forecast. I'm sure that that's what they might be called, like within I'm saying in the media space, but they 10 to 1 are what is the technical term for they I don't even know what they are called, man. And it's a geological something, I don't know, atmospheric something, I don't know. I don't know someone who calls what is a professional in weather right now. Traffic. So what was really nice as well is when bulletins were covered live from people, I'm saying journalists that would sometimes so very old school, they would be in helicopters, and they wouldn't just like report what they see on the ground. That's obviously doesn't really work, but like you would have the reports, you obviously computerized, I'm saying to you, but it would be that lovely nice additional feel, which a lot of the American stations obviously are very famous for. The weather forecast and traffic reports also give us a clear indication of how important that information is to the target listener. That's why we do it, not just to fill time. Traffic bulletins will occur in the morning and late afternoons, as I've mentioned before. If there's a major incident that will now cripple, I'm saying, to people on the road, for example, if the N1, N4, N2, N3 is closed completely, in other words, no lanes are available due to, I don't know, like the lights falling down, or there's a massive multiple vehicle accident, and there's like chaos, whatever it may be, that will be updated, not 4 times, but consistently, so that you can assist or at least keep company / comfort to the listener if they are stuck with no return, right? In those situations, right? The weather is updated, not saying, mustn't say, like, let's say you've now reached 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you mustn't give me the morning report of the lows of today. Are we already past that? Like, you must give me the highs of the day, and then also what in winter, like for example, like what lows we're going to reach in the evening, right? So you'll say we're currently sitting at whatever it is, 23 degrees with it's a clear day in the capital city first, so Pretoria. We don't cover Cape Town, which is the other capital, right? But Pretoria and then Johannesburg, right? But you'll make it obviously more conversational. If there is an importance to including UV radiation, which I don't think there is, but humidity and possibility of rain showers, definitely, the hailstorms, etc. You will include that as well. Okay, so take the news story and make it into a radio news bulletin. Okay, so you don't have to go. So this particular lesson I put together in 2020. So that's, I mean, it's still relevant. It still comes out of your textbooks and stuff like that. Right. But in particular, it was during obviously lockdown. It's not important. You don't have to follow this link. Excuse me. Right. What I want you to do right now is create 2 news stories. Okay. I will give you, so again, let's just actually select the stories. I'm going to give you the 2 stories. Just quickly go. Just want to see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Or am I just
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. I'm just saying I was, yeah, okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly share 2 stories, one international, one national. Okay. Just quickly get to, so have you downloaded that South African newspaper apps? Apps and the app. I'm saying 2 newspapers app. Have you got that one on your phone? No? You should get it. It's very, you should get it. It'll help a lot with everything I'm saying to you, right? Okay, so US won't sanction SA over a weapons row. Okay, and market reaction will stabilize. So I'm going to give you that story. That's very important to us. So I'm going to see that it's not for subscribers only, so that you have a, yeah, okay, good. All right. So I'm going to give you this one.
I can't really see what you're doing, sir. I'm still
No.
on the side.
No. Yeah, I know you're on the slides. I'm just sharing it to your class. I'm saying the group.
Okay.
All right, so that you actually have the news stories I want you to go and have a look at, right? So, I mean, have a look at and obviously bring down. So that's I'm saying to you, South African news. Just wanna, 1 second. This is top news. I just want to find an international story that's of relevance, right? It's a news, investigation, context, matters. Okay, let me find something that's so just give me a second, scroll down. Okay, I'm gonna find something of Times Live. Just give me a second, rather. So let's see. Actually, I'm gonna take the BBC one. Just give me a second. Okay. So the elections definitely in Turkey are important. Okay. There's the option. You can tell me which one you think. I'm gonna give you some headlines. You tell me which one of them you think is more important. So Erdogan leads as Turkey heads for election runoff. Ukraine's Zelensky in UK to discuss aid with Sunak. The life of India's gangster politician killed on live TV. Let me just give a second. Yeah, I think those ones, out of those ones. So there's it's the Turkish elections, the Ukraine, obviously to discuss whatever they need to with the UK, and then the life of India's gangster politician killed on live TV.
I think the last one.
Really?
Or
So
the Ukraine.
why okay, yeah, no, that's fine. So I'm gonna send you, okay, so I'll give you just a bit of a background. Have you heard about the story? So about, again, the politician being killed live on TV. His name's Atiq Ahmed. One of India's most dreaded gangster politicians was shot dead live on TV along with his brother. The shocking murder marked the end of his 4-decade-long reign of terror in Prayagraj. There we go, Prayagraj, a city known of its rich culture. Sutik Biswas in New Delhi and Vikas Pandey in Prayagraj. Yeah, that's good. It's fine. Piece together Ahmed's tumultuous life in which the boundaries between crime and politics become blurred. So that, I mean, that's fine. The thing is that this story is so this is actually just more what is it? I was gonna say another tutorial. It's a editorial. This is an editorial, so you can't actually use that. Well, tell me what an editorial is. What you think it is?
An editorial. I think it's probably like um a story that was like uh followed up, and it was like edited according to like the latest news that has come up.
Right, yeah. So they actually do a thing about it. I'm saying to you. So if it was on if it was on TV, there would be a proper produced segment. You understand, where there would be walkabouts and there would be. You understand? It would be a produced segment of about maybe 5 to 7 minutes. I think would be adequate. You understand, right? Uh, uh, yeah. I'm gonna just sort out also Nkosi while you do this. And okay, so what I'm going to do is, because this the Ukraine Zelensky one is a live thing, all right, I'm going to give you the Turkish one. Okay, I'm going to just give you the Turkish one because this is not happening live and they're busy updating it live. So that's going to be a little difficult for you because there's a lot of updates that are there. Okay, so I'm going to give you the Turkish one. Okay, I'm going to also then give you. Okay, so let's then go. I want to go to. I just want to go to News 24 so I can just commodities. So I'm going to go to Fin 24. This is why it's good to have them. I'm just say okay. So the economy, the markets. Let's go to the markets and see if there's a direct thing here. Okay, investing, personal finance, entrepreneurship, technology. Just give me a second. Climate, future. Finance, investing. Search. Come on. So this thing is just economy. Let's see. Economy. Okay, so I'm just going to actually just go to the net. Just give me a second so I can actually give you it so that you know. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, commodities. Commodities, South Africa, commodities in South Africa. No, I just want to get to the correct one. Yeah, from 24. 24. Okay. The indicators. Okay, let me give you the indicators. Okay. Okay, so this particular link is going to give you the three things that I was saying. It's currencies. Okay, you're not going to, so it's currencies, commodities, JC indexes. Let me just share this with you so that that'll be always updated as well. So you can actually just click on there if you want to see it. Right, but it will say, like, for example, the rand to the dollar is 19, for $1 it's 19.06, to the pound 23.83, and to the euro is 20.73. As you can see, it includes Australia and the yen, but not necessary. So the thing is that we refers to gold is per fine ounce, that is in dollars. So it's $2,012.72, and a barrel of Brent crude oil, very high still, $74.17. Okay, we don't really look at the platinum, the palladium, and the silver, right? But a lot of bulletins do look at platinum. I'm saying to you, when it is a little bit more extensive. And when there are, I'm saying to you, there's finance features, So let's say at around 6 o'clock, normally in commercial stations, they'll have an extended version of, I'm saying to you, like the financial news to explain again where the JSE indexes are rising and dropping or whatever it may be, right? And then obviously which trades are like highlighting. Okay, so there's the commodities. Then for the traffic, so it's there's itraffic.co.za. I'm going to go and so what you'll do is I'm going to go to Gauteng and I'm going to share that. Okay, so what you'll see, I'm just going to share it first in case you're following along, right? Okay. So there's our traffic for Gauteng. What you'll see then is you will see that there's a little map of now Gauteng, and there's little exclamation marks, right? Where there's an incident. You will click on the exclamation mark, like for example, one says it's a stationary vehicle in the shoulder lane 1.2 kilometers after the ramp to the N17. From the N1, and the left shoulder lane has been blocked. That's on the N1 southbound. Okay, so you will just restructure that just a little bit to make it a little bit more conversational. That's understandable, right? Again, let me just go to another one. For example, on the N3 southbound, there's a stationary vehicle on the travel lane, just 300 meters after the Van Buren off-ramp, and one lane has been blocked. Okay, so the thing is, again, you can't give us a delay. Do you understand? You don't have that type of software. So, that type of software will be at a station. They'll buy it. They'll pay for it every month or whatever it may be. But those are that. Okay, and then the weather, obviously, right? So I'm just going to, again, just say the weather. Just weather. So weather today, South African Weather Services. There's AccuWeather as well. Let me just go to the SA Service, South African Services. So let me see the differences between. Give me a second, it's just busy loading. Right. So, like for example, in Pretoria, currently it's 17 degrees. There are for the day, showers and thunderstorms. It will then, so again, I just wanted to see the max. It will reach a high of 21 today, and you can expect, let's say, sunset, which is quite important. Let's say at 5:29. So why it's important to people, I can't really say, but I know I want to kind of know when the sun rises, especially. So there, but I just want to go and see how you can find different areas. There, you can just enter the city at the top. Okay, so let's say Johannesburg, and if I press enter, it will give me that Johannesburg is currently at 14 degrees. There are rain showers. It's currently raining, and you can see that the sun will set at 5:29. Okay, so I'm going to just share that with you so that you have all the updates. Okay, is that any questions on that? Any questions on that?
No, sir, not really.
Okay.
I can't really see the things you sent because my phone's not allowing me to go through the things. But after the class, I'll go through everything.
Okay, so I mean, because are you doing this are you on Teams on your phone? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm on Teams on
Oh,
my phone.
okay, all right, okay, all right. So let me get. Can I then give you? It is 40 minutes is going to be enough, eh? Or is it too long? No, is it enough or too long? What do you? How do you feel?
It's enough, sir.
It's enough. Okay, so we will reconvene at 2:10. Okay, and then
Okay.
you will if you can also so how are you gonna write it down or are you gonna type it out? Really gonna write it down, eh?
Yes, I'm probably gonna write it down.
Okay.
I'll try to type it out as well on my phone.
Look, I mean, I don't. What I'd like you to do at the very least is be able to just read it to me. So that's fine. Write it down for yourself. At this point, look, you will type out everything I'm saying to you for when you do the shows. Everything will be like you'll type that out. You understand? So the bulletins are neat and obviously legible and stuff like that, so that you know. But okay, all right. So let's come back. Sorry, at 15 past then. Okay, 15 past two. We'll do the next class. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna jump off and jump back on at quarter past.
Sir.
It. Hey.
The one that Nkosi had asked with the F2,
Yes.
uh, if if the story is well not irrelevant,
No,
but
no, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. Sorry, just to answer that as well. Yes. No. So I don't mind. It's the whole thing is about how, like it's saying there. Write the story. I can't remember the question very clearly. Is it in front of you? Do you remember what it asks? It says show prep, eh? So,
let
and
me
I think
just
you do the full show prep, eh? Is that what it is?
yeah, she's basically asking
Not
um
whether it's, yeah, she doesn't have to do one that's relevant today. In other words, it
yeah,
can be, I just need, for example, like let's say I sent you mine, which was done, I don't know, last year, I think. I don't know when it was. It doesn't matter. It's just so that I can read it and it must make sense. You understand? But remember, you have to obviously include like in your references, you have to tell me where you found it so that I can go and check that it's not plagiarized. Okay.
okay, sir.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll see you then, Nana. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye. Bye.